Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I cannot believe that I am back and in action on YouTube. I've taken such a long break from YouTube, which is like, I was doing so good, but I think I did need the break because so much has happened. I got married, we moved, so much has changed, but I just feel so good to be back talking in front of the camera. I did a poll on my Instagram asking people if they wanted me to talk more in depth about why I became vegan in the first place, and I just think that YouTube is the perfect place to share like in depth of why the heck I'm a vegan person. And if you clicked on this video looking for a more methodical why and reasonings and methods of how to be vegan, you can check out my how to become vegan or what to eat as a vegan, protein as a vegan video, because those are definitely a lot more methodical videos. This one is definitely a girl chat or a us chat. I really want to do something that just like we're just talking and you guys can feel just my energy, just feel like you guys know me and we can talk and we can chat, and it's like not stuffy, it's just regular. So I went ahead and I grabbed my little matcha latte, which if you know me from Instagram, you know that I love my coffee. But today I was like, okay, let me try to not do too much caffeine, so I got the matcha. So we have our matcha, we have some AC, which I'm going to turn up a little bit, we have our little parked favorite spot, and we're going to get into why the heck I decided to become a vegan. Just a little realm of honesty here. I have recorded this video in the past and I have a little bit of trouble like opening up, like not opening up, but I don't know how far I want to take it, because truthfully this goes back to when I was 9 years old, of like the genuine true reason of why I became vegan. And it's taken me a lot of thought and just a lot of like just like marinating on the idea of like opening up, to like actually get here today, sit down and like be confident in me sharing my story. So with that being said, I'm sorry if sometimes I jump around a little bit. I'm sorry if this might not make complete sense. Feel free to ask me questions below if you want some more clarification. I will go as far to clarify as best that I can and what I feel comfortable clarifying. But at the end of the day, I really wanted this video to be authentic. I wanted it to be raw. I wanted people to understand where I'm coming from, and hopefully with me sharing my story, it'll help other people share their stories or really just feel more seen in the world. Like that's like my mission in the world, to help people feel seen and to help people in general, like with their diets, and just be healthier and happier. So that being said, let's get all the way back into the story of where it really began, which was 9 years old. And my mother took me and my sister and our whole family out to lunch. And I'll never forget this. She sat us down and she said, you know, I brought you guys all here together because I have an announcement. So we were all sitting together and she says, I have breast cancer. And that moment right there completely changed my life, because I remember, of course, like the feeling that you get, like your heart sinks to your stomach. Even though I was really young, my mother was actually in remission for breast cancer, so I understood what breast cancer was, and I knew that it was like a scary thing. So as you can imagine, as anyone can imagine, it was definitely a life-changing lunch. Once we left that lunch table, our whole lives changed. You know, we then had a live-in caretaker take care of my mother. Our diets actually completely changed. My mother went almost completely organic. Let's make sure my thing's not overheating. My mom went completely organic. A lot of our lifestyle just changed because my mom at the time was a very strong presence. She was a very strong woman. She handled a lot of things, and that was the first time that I saw her, you know, not kind of have it all the way together. You know, she was sick and she wasn't feeling well, and she was diagnosed with breast cancer again. And, you know, that moment in time was really hard. Even though that was a really hard time in my life, in our life, in our family's life, I really got to get so much closer to my mom. Me and my mom were always close. But I think, you know, when time is not on your side, you really just become closer. I remember we would write letters to each other, we would journal to each other, and you know, we had a really sacred and tight bond. And, you know, it was it was definitely devastating at that time to lose my mom, because of course when you're that young, losing your mom, losing someone who's like an idol to you, like I loved my mom, I idolized my mom. I still look at some of the things she's done, and I'm 27 years old. I still think like, wow, how did she do that? I wish she was here to teach me those things. So I always looked up to my mom, and losing her to breast cancer when I was 10 years old at that time was just so hard, and it completely altered the way that I looked at life. Like at that point in time, I wasn't thinking about food, I wasn't thinking about diet, I wasn't thinking about, you know, how she got breast cancer. I was just thinking about why. So I can't even sit here and tell you like that's when I knew that I had to eat vegetables. Like, no, that's not true. But it definitely gave me a different perspective on life. And so as we fast forward to when my now husband, and I'm a very stubborn person, okay? I'm an Aquarius person. I don't know what that means to you, but, you know, I can be very, very, very stubborn. And my now husband, who was then my boyfriend, I don't know what we were, I don't know what we was doing, but he was like, you know, I really want you to watch this documentary called What the Health. And I was like, no, I don't want to watch that. If anything, I'm good. Like, I'm good. I don't want to hear about it, because one thing about me, as stubborn as I am, when I decide to make a decision, I will make it to the nth degree, which is why I didn't want to watch it, because I'm like, oh gosh, once I watch this video, it's going to be over for me. Which, you know, I know myself very well. If I do say so myself, I know myself very well. And I was absolutely right, okay? I watched What the Health and instantly gave my meetup. I think literally right after that video, either the next day or right after that video, I gave my roommates my meat and I moved on with my life as a vegan person. And I remember watching What the Health, and like, of course, like there was so many parts of the documentary that was like, ooh, like the meat industry does this, what they put in our food, like, oh, this is crazy, the sodium levels, like what they do to our chickens, what they do to all, like, of course, that part got me, and it was like, ugh. But what really got me was the food's connection to cancer. Like, I remember watching that documentary, and I'm like, I think I got like a little emotional. Like, I can't remember, but I was just like, wow. I feel like that was the first time that I ever heard someone say in like black and white, if you do this, it can cause this. If you eat this, it may cause this. Research has shown this. Like, that was the first time I really ever heard that. And once I heard it, I was like, okay, a light bulb went off in my head. I'm like, this is perfect. This is exactly how I am going to live my life. Now, with that being said, let me just do a little disclaimer, okay? Look. Now, I believe in the Lord, okay? My life is in His hands, no matter what, it's in His hands, and I will say this, that anything I can do on this planet to further my chances of being around for my kids or being around for my grandkids, that is in my control, that is in my power, anything that I can do, I will do it. I know myself well enough, I will do it. Nothing will get in the way of the things that I can control. Anything that I can't control, I gotta just give it up. But the things that I can, I will. And so, with that being said, I hope that kind of was a roundabout way of saying something. But with that being said, I did decide to give up my meat. I became a vegan person the very next day, or an hour. And that is where Black and Vegan really began, because I started to post on my own personal stories, like my cook-alongs, like, because I love doing cook-alongs and things like that. And then one day I was like sitting down with my roommates, which were like my best friends, and I was like, I think I'm gonna create an Instagram page. And I'm like, I think I'm gonna do like a cooking Instagram page. And I thought it was gonna be clothing. At first I was like, maybe I'll do clothing, like vegan merch, vegan clothing, things like that, because almost everybody, all my friends became vegan after watching the documentary, but I was the only one that stuck it out and was like actually vegan. So I was like, maybe I'll do like a vegan merch and like something like that. And I didn't know what I was doing, but I was like, okay, maybe I can start doing cook-alongs on my vegan page. So that's where Black and Vegan began, and here we are today. Here we are now. Can you guys believe it? 275,000 Instagram followers, which I'm like I still cannot believe it. I'm still in shock. I feel like okay, now I don't want to get emotional, but I do feel like it's nothing but God's grace, because okay, we're not gonna do this, but it's just like, I never thought my life was going to go this direction. I mean, everything in life always happens for a reason, and you never know what it's going to happen for. But I just feel so blessed that I get to be able to share like my lifestyle and how I cook and how I do things with people, and it resonates with people, because I know how much of a blessing that really is, and I didn't even know that this was going to happen in my life. So I am beyond grateful for the platform that I have. And I really do hope that, one, this really does help somebody. Not just this video, but like all the recipes that I do, all the things that I do. Like, I really hope it helps somebody, because I know when I was starting out, I did not know what the heck I was doing. Sorry, you guys. I didn't think I was going to cry today doing this video. So, sorry. But I really need to do her legacy proud. And I want to be here for my kids. I want to be like my future kids. I'm not pregnant, and I don't have any kids yet. I'm a newlywed, but I want to be here for my kids, and I'm just gonna do the best that I can. So if you are new here and you just clicked on this video, I hope after you saw me drop a tear, you do give me a follow, because I really want to show you like more of me and more of my vegan food and my vegan lifestyle, those kind of things. And if you're an OG and you've been around, thank you so much for being here. It means the world to me. You've changed my life, and I don't take that for granted at all. Thank you so much for showing up and watching this video. Even if it's 5 of you, doesn't matter to me. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way through. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.